founder Shri Ravesh Dudani, co-founder Shri Kuldeep Sharma, members of this August gathering present in the auditorium, parents and students who have enrolled for a career to enhance their skills in this university. Each one of you present here in the afternoon, I wish you all a very good afternoon. I was wondering what to speak, for whom to speak, who will be my target group today. So after some thought, I knew what to speak about. And I'll come to that in a moment. But my target group, that is whom to speak, is the group of beginners or students who have just entered the university to get themselves equipped with the skills which will not only allow them to earn a living and live with dignity, but also how to survive in a very fast evolving world. I assume that the intake of the students are mostly those who are in their teens or in their early 20s. Today I will not bore you with Gyan, the kind of which you get to hear whenever there is a gathering and very serious looking speakers come and say things for minutes and hours maybe. I want to equip the young entrants to this educational system with a few tips, and that is the focus of my presentation to you. Before I venture to speak on the subject which I have chosen, I would like to ask the young new students, what do they do when they are not studying? Can one or two of you answer? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. When you are not studying, I don't find any hands, maybe you are too intimidated, but let me guess, most of you are with your mobile phones. Most of you are trying to make Instagram reels. Most of you are trying to figure out what's new in the social media platforms. Most of you are on online gaming, online chats, and whatever the internet presents to you. I'm going to ask a question a little in the reverse. How many of you during your spare time, that is when you are not studying, spend your time in a library? Can you raise your hand? One hand I have seen. Can I see a little more? We don't see more. And that exactly is my concern. You see, no matter how much skill you learn or develop while you are getting yourself educated in a system, for example, the system as will present before you through this university, everything will become diluted or insignificant if you are unable to use your mind originally and think originally. The unfortunate part of the internet revolution is the slow and deliberate destruction of your original thinking process. If you have a question of which the answer is not known to you, I think 80% of you will open your mobile phone, put the search mode on, and the Google will come up with some answers through AI or otherwise, and you are satisfied. But let me assure you that 70 to 80% of these answers may not be correct. How then will you know whatever that comes to you easily is not necessarily the best? For that, perhaps the only option is to use your mind judiciously, originally, and not become a victim or not become compromised with whatever that comes through the information network which we know as the internet. I am not at all saying that do away with the information that comes your way. But the problem that I am trying to signal or flag is something else. That is, you have to be trained properly to choose what information you must collect and what information you must discard. And that is possible when you acquire the skills to choose between the good, the indifferent, and what should not be touched. And that is why you should read, you should learn, you should pay more attention to developing your mind as originally as possible, without being influenced by whatever that comes your way easily. If you have a question, how many of you go back home to look up the dictionary or the encyclopedia? You don't. Because you have a small electronic device very near you, and it's so easy to get the information. But when you acquire the skills, I think the topic, what is being here, as I see, is Prarambh, which is, I think, the beginning. If the beginning is faltered, then along the line, it may not be rectified. So when you are making a beginning, young students, this is my request to you, is try to develop a mind of your own, an original mind, a mind that gets enriched by reading, by listening to good music, by watching good movies. There are many things, by taking active part in sports, by taking active part in adventure sports, by going into nature walks. There are so many things. Getting more acquainted with your environment, which is in a very fragile shape. These are the ways to allow your mind to evolve originally. But if you get enslaved, your mind gets enslaved with that little device which is taking all original thoughts away, then whatever skills, no matter whatever skills the university teaches you, you will be a gulam or a slave in the hands of your device and unable to do anything better to augment your skills. I am saying this because slowly I notice that there is a disconnect between what is reality and what is delusional or illusory. The delusional or illusory aspect is dreams that are woven into our mind through whatever comes your way through the information network. The reality, of course, is otherwise. The unfortunate part is there is no university or any skill program that teaches the youngsters what to accept from the internet and what to discard. There is no orientation program or skill training program. So what happens is young, vulnerable minds, teenagers or those who are in their 20s, they do not know what is right and what is wrong for them. I would request the university to encourage its students to use their library to the hilt, to take the students to excursions as we used to when we were in school and in college. To allow the mind of the children not to be corrupted with whatever garbage that comes their way through the internet, but to give them the expertise or the skills and the intelligence to choose what is good for them and what may not be so good. When I came here, I thought of saying this, sharing this, because I feel the time has come for us to dwell on this issue which I have flagged today while addressing all of you. If the mind has to develop, if a young impressionable mind has to develop, if the young impressionable mind has to get itself equipped with the skills to allow that young adult to sustain himself or herself and also be a responsible citizen in years to come, we must start thinking originally, we must start thinking differently, and we must come as close to reality as we can. I have flagged a few ways we can do it. One can spend some time in the library. One can read good books. One can watch very good movies. One can take long walks. One can do trekking. One can do a little bit of nature walk. And one more thing one can do. Small groups of students meeting for an hour or so and discussing about issues which concern not only them but the world as they know it. I am concerned because only one in this entire auditorium, a young girl, raised her hand when I asked the question, how many of you go to the library? My endeavor today is to give you an insight as to how all of you can have a better tomorrow than what it is today. A very damaging trend which I noticed and which I think time has come for all of you to notice. I am sure the university will give a thought of whatever are my fears which I have expressed, and tomorrow, as I always hope, will be a better tomorrow for each one of us. Thank you.